Hi folks, this is Professor Rick Bell from the University of Maryland, and I am delighted to tell you about the new course I'll be doing for all of you about the Declaration of Independence. This is a really deep dive into a document that most of us think we know, but it turns out I think there's a lot more to learn. I'm going to tell you about why on earth the delegates to the Second Continental Congress thought they needed to declare independence in the spring of 1776 at the very start of a war whose outcome was by no means certain. Of course, independence isn't actually won until the end of the war, many, many years later. So what's behind that impulse to seek independence? I'll tell you lots and lots about how they decided to draft the document we think of as the Declaration of Independence, which began life as sort of a press release that they wanted to issue to the courts of Europe to secure foreign assistance from places like France and Spain to get boots on the ground to help them actually win the war. I'll talk about the drafting procedure in the Committee of Five and Thomas Jefferson, his contentious relations with the 56 editors of his document in the Continental Congress. I'll talk about the circulation of that press release, that memorandum, that Declaration of Independence, both across the 13 colonies in the form of printed broadsides and then to the courts of Europe. And I'll talk about its reception in London, where it was not received warmly. It was picked apart by British opponents of American independence. And then I'll talk about its future in the 250 years since American independence, how that declaration became a role model for separatists and state makers around the rest of the world to forge their own declarations of independence, and how it's become a beacon of light here in the United States for civil rights activists of various stripes to claim the moral high ground. This is a deep dive into a familiar document. I'm really hoping you'll come along on that journey.